The Patreon pick, as requested by Mr. T on Patreon, thank you for the request, was the 2000 film Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. And if you also want to get your movie into our queue, go to guapish.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Guapish for $1 a month. Request a movie, and we'll get around to it, just like Mr. T's movie here. Let's say, Nico, you want to tell us about this one?
Sure, I guess I can. Why me?
Because I'm going to have Tanner talk about the one we watched in theaters, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Fair enough, man. So this movie, it's all about the fucking new age Batman. He's the sweet new kid on the block in the future. And an old villain has come and has shown his face once again. It's the Jongler, baby. He's back in action for some reason. And he's fucking killing Bruce Wayne almost. And then it turns out Damian Wayne, for some reason, not Damian Wayne, fucking, you know, the fucking Robin no one cares about, the Red Robin. He's also here, and he's technically the Joker for some reason.
Whoa! Fun fact. This is a long one, so pay attention, please.
Okay.
So this movie was made by the same animation studio as Akira. And as you may recall, there is also an orbital laser scene in Akira, which inspired the one in this movie. And in fact, the original animator behind the orbital laser scene in Akira, when he saw that there was an orbital laser scene in this movie, volunteered to take the scene over to try and top himself.
I was wondering why that particular scene looked so good in this film. Like, for the most part, the animation isn't like, you know, it's nothing to write home about at all. But during that scene, I even told Jackson, why is it weirdly good now?
I think the animation is actually pretty decent throughout this movie.
I will admit, I had the same thought process as Nico. I was wondering why the animation all of a sudden improved during that portion. Now that makes a lot more sense.
It does.
The explosions specifically are very good throughout for some reason.
Oh, you know.
I'll say that was a good fun fact, Tanner.
Radical.
As for our ranks, though, where are you putting it?
Is you supposed to be me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at an A.
Oh, Dylan, how about you?
I gave it a B-.
Oh, Jackson, how about you?
I'm at a flat C.
Yeah, I'm thinking C+ for this one. Right in between Jackson and Dylan there. Feels comfy.
I guess I'll kick us off since I'm the highest on this
As
one.
As always, you fucking love these movies, man, and I just don't get it. It's like, I see Batman, I like Batman.
I have whimsy in my heart. I just really like this movie. I thought the animation was solid. I like that it's really well paced. I thought the action was really good and had a nice solid sense of intensity throughout it. My only negative that really stood out to me is I thought the Joker performance was like weirdly subdued. I really wish Mark Hamill was hamming it up a bit more here.
Still does a pretty good Joker nonetheless, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think his performance is pretty dang good. However, like, the whole fucking twist that, like, oh yeah, he's actually the Joker, we put a little fucking thing on him and now he's the Joker, is really stupid. I don't like that whatsoever.
I was kind
of
It
doesn't really bother
it.
me at all. Second fun fact, the pumpkin guy, yes, the voice actor was doing a Christopher Walken impression.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I do recall pointing that out several times throughout the movie. Cool. Glad I got that.
Why did you need to point it out multiple times?
I don't know, because I was trying to figure out why they would try to give this guy a Christopher Walken accent and not have it be Christopher Walken. That, quite frankly, confounded me. And was
it's because they thought it was funny.
I guess so.
And it was.
Yeah, this movie was fine. I'm kind of just lumping it in with the other DC animated films. And I think out of all the Batman variants, I guess you could say, of the DC universe, this one is probably my favorite variant of Batman, but I can't really speak on it any more than that because I'm obviously not a huge DC person. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. The animation was fine, and I think the performances put on by all the voice actors was well done. And I liked the plot. It wasn't super wacky, and it was pretty straightforward and easy to follow. I agree with Nico. I think it was kind of weird that, you know, the Joker was just old Robin who was mentally disturbed and then isn't, but then somehow through decades of, missing it, there's just a chip in his brain and that somehow never got ruined except for the electric shock applied directly to it by the ring or whatever at the end.
And it can somehow just cause the Joker to possess his body.
Yeah.
Nico, would you have preferred if it was just like a trauma brainwashing thing instead of the literal genetic possession?
Yeah, I don't like that
I
at
also
all.
agree with that.
I think that's fair enough, I guess.
And I may have been trying to science it up too much, but just based on what I know about the human brain, I know that if you're like gonna infect the subconscious mind that much for that long, especially with such a strong mental fortitude such as the Joker, you don't just revert from being the Joker after that. That's not how that works. Which is why the brainwashing thing would have made more sense. Alas, it didn't happen. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was fine.
Speaking of the trauma, though, that whole scene where fucking Joker and Harley end up abducting young Robin and like torturing him and shit like that, all of that was very well done. I enjoyed the flashback portion of the movie, so much so that when we were watching this film, I was like, oh yeah, of course, I've seen this one. I remember watching it as a kid, but the more it went on, I was like, I don't remember any of this happening. I'm pretty sure it like opened with like this whole thing of like one of the Robins getting abducted and shit. And that happens like midway through the film. Like, I guess it's just the only part I paid attention to as a kid.
That's funny.
Genuinely is all I remembered. And I can see why. It was pretty solid. Like, even though their depiction of like the future, like this futuristic version of Gotham, I just don't really like. It's very sterile. It doesn't really seem to do anything in particular. It's very different from like basically any other futuristic setting. It's very generic, which is a shame for like a city like Gotham, which is like, very famously, it's got a whole lot of character in and of itself to it. So yeah, I just really didn't like what they ended up doing with that. It made things feel a bit too plain for me.
Anyways, I guess I can talk now. I found an opening. I found this movie boring as rocks for the most part. I think the really only saving grace for me here is just I do agree with Nico. I think the time travel scene is well done. I don't like the way they handle Robin being the Joker. I think that was a big misstep. I think just the general idea behind the plot's kind of stupid. I don't like the way Batman and fucking like Batgirl even like handle the situation with the Joker. It just seems kind of stupid and misguided to me. And yeah, I also hard agree with Nico. I think Gotham in and of itself, and a lot of Batman stuff I've seen, is like a character. Just because of how like fleshed out it normally is, and how, I guess, iconic the setting is generally speaking. And it's just like, we're in some generic fucking sci-fi future. It's like, who gives a fuck? Even like some of the aesthetics, like the club, in concept, I guess, it's futuristic, but really it's just like a big open space. It's just kind of boring, honestly. I basically nothing to really say about it. It's just some boring fucking superhero movie.
But at the very least, like those clown henchmen women, like the twins, they were pretty sweet. I like them a lot. They were a real saving grace for this film.
I don't get the power level of the Joker either, man. There's some suspension of disbelief, I guess you could say, that is just not working on me.
He's incredibly smart, man, and devious.
And really strong, apparently.
Tanner, do you have much to retort with anything we've said thus far?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, what am I supposed to say to, Jackson thought was boring? That's totally fair.
But you thought it was exciting from start to finish. You thought it was a fantastic film.
Yeah.
So why is that, man? Why is that?
I don't know what you mean by that. I just was excited by the happenings in the movie. I liked the action scenes. The explosions were fun. I was invested in the plot. If Jackson didn't get invested in the plot, that's a bummer. I wish he had my experience with the movie.
That's how I feel with, like, every movie.
I do think it's funny Dylan's talking about, like, he remembers this being his favorite iteration of Batman or whatever, but he doesn't have any specifics as to why. And I genuinely, for some reason, have the exact same experience. I remember, I don't know what channel I watched this on, but I just thought this design as a child was very cool. And I was like, this is my favorite Batman ever. But, I have no recollection of any of this. Like, when I first was starting watching this movie, I was like, what the fuck is even going on? I didn't realize it was a futuristic setting until they whipped out laser guns or some shit. I was very confused.
That's fun. I mean, yeah, the Batman Beyond design is pretty sweet. I you know, Terry McGinnis as a character is fine. I don't have a strong connection to him one way or the other.
And I guess none of
What's
us
up
really...
with that poster?
What's that, Jackson?
What's up with that poster? Why does the Joker look like that?
Oh, why is he green, you mean?
Yeah, the poster for the movie. I don't know. It could just... I assume maybe they had, since it was a Japanese animation studio, they had a Japanese artist do the poster too. And I feel like I've pretty frequently seen they do weird stuff like that.
Has Joker been green in any iteration of Batman?
No, I don't think so.
Crazy.
Anyways, it lands at a B- overall.
Well, were any of us going to change our ranks here?
No, I'm gonna stick with my A.
Coward.
B- overall.
Let's go.